All right, man. Why on earth do you hate learning Spanish? Let's go.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. Para los que no me conocen, yo soy Language Simp. Soy de los United States y llevo años estudiando español. Hoy voy a hablar sobre por qué odio el idioma español. Escuchad, obviamente me encanta este idioma, pero al mismo tiempo, learning it is extremely frustrating. Flashback a few years. I was fluent in French and I was at the tail end of a 6-month bender of torture grinding Russian for 3 hours a day when I had a realization. Wow, c'était vraiment une perte de temps. Пустая трата времени, блин. What am I gonna do with these? I live in America. I'd be lucky if I maybe found one French or Russian speaker a month at Walmart. But America is the country with the second most Spanish speakers in the universe. More people speak it here than they do in Spain. True. So I quit Russian and I dedicated.
Really? Oh, that's insane. Of course, because of population. Goodness gracious.
In the universe. More people speak it
And Colombia? Why wouldn't you say Colombia?
here than they do in Spain. So I quit Russian and I dedicated my life to learning Spanish.
Okay.
Языковой симп. Мне очень грустно. Sorry, Vladdy Daddy. But immediately I encountered a problem. There are way too many brands of Spanish spoken in a million different countries, so which will I choose to learn? They're all speaking Spanish at the
The one you like the most? For me would be Madrid Spanish.
end of the day, so it doesn't really matter. They can't be that different, right? Right? For a normal person, this decision would be easy, but I have a toxic obsession with sounding native. I like when people mistake me for a native speaker. I want to blend in. That's my goal. So I chose Spanish from Spain. The lisp sounded elegant to me. The
like
extra
that.
pretentious pronouns were cool, and the S's hiss like a snake. And
Vosotros. Yeah, I like that too. Like, gracias. I like that sound. Me gusta el idioma.
most importantly, I could maybe convince people here in America that I'm really from Spain. Mexican Americans probably aren't familiar enough with the accent to notice minor mistakes. Spain is really far away, and a DNA test told me I'm 100% European. And I get it, this is deeply problematic. I know there are white people all over the place in Latin America. But if my German American ass told you that I'm from Peru, would you believe me? No. But if I told you I was from Spain, still no, but maybe. And holy taco, was this language easy in the beginning. Spanish was basically just a heterosexual version of French without all the moaning and snorting. And it would have been even easier if I had known the best method to learn a language described in the Hyperpolyglot Handbook ebook available for purchase at languagesimp.com. I got good at Spanish fast. I wasn't perfect, but I was having meaningful conversations all the time on Discord. So one day after building up my confidence, I decided now's the time to try speaking Spanish in real life. I was working as an engineer and my Puerto Rican coworker had to give me a 10-minute ride to a job site. So I said to myself, okay, Josh, this is what you've been practicing for. Tell him you speak Spanish. So I said,
Hey bro, ¿tú sabías que yo hablo español?
and he turned to me and said,
Oh, sí?
I froze. My heart skipped a beat. I panicked.
No sabo, no entender nada.
And switching to English, he said 6 words that I'll never
go.
forget.
You'll get there one day, buddy.
What do you mean I'll get there one day, buddy? You're not speaking Spanish. I just debated philosophy with a guy from Madrid last night on Discord. I'm already there. It turns out all Spanishes are not created equally.
Yeah.
I figured that since it literally came from Spain, that learning Spanish would allow me to understand all other types of Spanish, but no. Puerto Ricans speak another language.
I'll be honest. I mean, of course, I can sympathize, and there are some versions of Spanish that I find more difficult to understand. Generally, the ones that are easier for me are Argentinian is the easiest, and then second would be Spain Spanish. Although then again, when I say Spain Spanish, I'm mostly talking about Castilian of the Madrid variety. Catalan is from Spain, but it's a different type. It's still Spain Spanish, if you will, but it's not the Madrid variety. Anyways, of course, I'm an Italian native, so for me it's a lot easier to speak Spanish, I imagine, or to learn it, should I say, because it's a lot closer to my native language. I usually seem to be doing okay when I speak to Mexicans, which is any time I have a chance. Whenever I run into someone and they're from Mexico, I love trying to speak. But then again, that's probably because they're simplifying it a little bit. Like they're trying to avoid specific Mexico-only expressions with me. Perhaps.
Language entirely. Sure, it's related to Spanish, but I couldn't understand it at all. And they've got completely different slang. Why do you call an orange China? This is China, and it doesn't help that they speak at the speed of light. And if you've studied physics, you know that nothing can go faster than the speed of light. But somehow, Chilean Spanish exceeds this universal speed
That's the hardest one for me to understand of all the tests that I've run. That's the one.
limit. Then Cubans don't even speak. They remove so many letters but still somehow understand one another. I wouldn't be surprised if they reduced the word español all the way down to pañol. That sounds oddly Korean. 안녕하십니까 동무들. And every single country has their quirks and their unique slang, and it kind of feels like Arabic, where Iraqis struggle to understand Moroccans even though they both technically are speaking the same language. I wish someone had told me that Spanish was like this. I thought I'd comprehend everything. The freaking government calls it a level 1 language, for God's sake, whatever that means. At least Mexicans speak clearly, but my RNG is
That's
so
what I
bad.
said.
Most times when I approach someone who speaks Spanish, they're from some random small Latin American country. And if I do find a Mexican, all they do is make fun of me.
¡Oh, qué padre! Un gringo que habla español, dime algo.
Gracias, pero no soy gringo. Obviamente con este acento, o sea, soy de España, de Barcelona.
Oh, o sea, tú hablas español con tu acento de España.
You don't do it with the S's. It's just the C's and the Z's that turn into the th.
Yeah.
Why do they always do
Yeah.
that? Th. And if I had a
Yeah.
dollar for every time that a Mexican called me Cristobal Colon, I'd have enough money to colonize the Milky Way. But to
Cristobal Colon.
reverse the injustices of the past, I'm teaching the aliens
Hey, let's pronounce it. I'll go back to this one because I want to see the joke with the aliens, but let's pronounce it once the correct way in Italian. Cristoforo Colombo. Okay.
to colonize the Milky Way, but to reverse the injustices of the past, I'm teaching the aliens Aztec Nahuatl, not Spanish. But the worst possible situation for me is when I encounter a unicorn, a real live Spaniard traveling in the United States.
Okay.
Hello, I am from Spain. Remember, I would
Yes, that sounds exactly like, hello, I'm from Spain.
do anything to come off as native. This is the crucial moment, the moment I've been preparing for a long time. So the 2 brain cells I still have after studying Russian grammar kick into overdrive.
What will we do? What will we do? He's gonna clock us. He'll know we're not from Spain.
We could say we're Argentinian from Buenos Aires.
We don't know how to do that accent.
We could say we're from Andalusia or the Canary Islands or some small town in Spain.
No, he's from Spain. He's gonna know.
Eureka! I have it! Equatorial Guinea.
Equatorial whaty?
Guinea! It's a Spanish-speaking country in West Africa. It's so petite and far away. No one's gonna know what they sound like. It's gonna work. Let's do it.
Yo soy de Equatorial Guinea. ¿En serio? Mi mujer es de ahí. María.
Cake here.
Maria.
Es mi amor.
Este hombre es de tu país. Scheiße.
¿Estás seguro de que eres de Guinea Equatorial?
No. The truth is, eu sou brasileiro, mas eu não sou bonito. Eu sou, tipo, muito feio. Eu amo a língua espanhola. Tem muitos sotaques lindos e pessoas incríveis que falam espanhol. Eu só não queria parecer gringo idiota. Desculpa. Juro pelo Bolsonaro que não vou mentir de novo.
Well, we don't know what you said, but you sound like a stupid gringo.
So in conclusion, I clearly have a long way to go with my Spanish learning journey.
This episode is my favorite so far. It's just fantastic.
But really, who cares if you have an accent or you're foreign or even if you sound like a stupid gringo? You're cool for learning their language, and if anyone judges you for that, they're the loser.
He's right.
Once I realized that, I stopped caring what I sound like in all of my languages. As long as people understand you, alles clean in Berlin. Всё в порядке. Tudo jóia.
Normal Danish.
If you want to learn the best and most fun way to study a language,
sorry.
head over to languagesimp.com and get your copy of the Hyperpolyglot Handbook. This ebook will teach you the exact method that I use every day to learn all of my languages, and most importantly, how I enjoy the process so much. Head over to languagesimp.com today. Adios, amigos.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, this was great. This was fantastic. Buenos dias.